Anyway, now we're back at New Home. We cannot go anywhere else. The door is jammed shut with vines. Should be clear what's going on here. We can just take the elevator and kind of shortcut the walk here because we've walked through all this before. Though I do want to point something out when you get there, although I don't know if it's actually happened yet. I think that's the same, yeah. Which is A, save point's gone if you noticed. I think down this way, remember where we saw those coffins earlier? Oh yeah, no, that hasn't changed. Never mind. I was mistaken about that. But the save point's gone. I don't know if that means anything, but it's just something to keep in mind. This one is also gone. This one's still here. So now we're at the end again. What's changed this time? This time, A, we've befriended Alphys, who's decided to tell people what they did. That didn't happen the first time. And B, we got this phone call from somebody that Chara recognized that said, hey, the plan's finally going to work. See you soon. Yeah, and we kind of know what this plan is because we saw those VHSs. But there's still more to come when it comes to what that all really means. So, back to Asgore. So we're gonna have to fight him again? It's not much of a pacifist route if we kill this guy again. So what's changed though? Let's do it. All right, let's fight him. Goodbye. But what's this? It's the return of Toriel! Ha ha! Who says the exact same thing she did at the beginning of the game. But now about her own husband. Or ex-husband. It's never quite clarified. Do not be afraid. It is I, Toriel, your friend and guardian, who we haven't seen since the beginning of the game. Why is she here? This is really where the friendship theme comes together. And I love this so much. I'm not going to say a lot about this. I'm just going to kind of let it play out. Because it's so great. Ultimately, we'd burden you with a horrible choice that you made in a different timeline. To leave this place, you'd have to take the life of another person. So why did Toriel show up in this timeline and not the other one? Because he befriended Alphys? I realized I cannot allow that. It's not right to sacrifice someone simply to let someone leave here. And that's her philosophy. If you remember, she was trying to save you from Asgore at the very beginning. She was trying to save your life. And possibly the lives of the other 6 human souls, because she had that box filled with shoes, so clearly they had gone through there. Is that not what I've been trying to prevent this whole time? So let's suspend this battle. As terrible as Asgore is, he deserves mercy too. And Asgore's like, hey! You came back! And this is my favorite because these two are so, like, divorced. You pathetic whelp. It's so sad, dude. You wanted to free our kind. You could have gone through the barrier after you got one soul. So here's Toriel nitpicking. Taken 6 souls from the humans, then come back and freed everyone peacefully. Which, by the way, was Kara's plan. Give 1 soul, Azrael could take 6 human souls from humans, and then come back and freed everyone. That was literally her plan. Her mom came up with the same plan. The peaceful person. Interesting. But instead, you made everyone live in despair because you would rather wait here meekly hoping another human never comes. Made a promise you didn't want to keep. So who's right in this situation? Toriel seems to make a good point. Asgore just couldn't face it. But do you think we can at least be friends again? Hope springs eternal. No. And here's my restraining order. He's so sad. Look at his face. Asgore! And suddenly Undyne's here too. She's lost her bangs now. Everyone's going to make friends, or else I'll. And here's the best part: is that Toriel, she hasn't met any of these people, so I don't think they're clearly younger than when she exiled herself. Are you the human's friend? It's nice to meet you. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Is that your ex? Rough, buddy. Well, this is where I also fall in love with Asgore, because until now he's been like this tough king who had made these terrible choices and he just wants to see his family again. But now he just everyone kind of craps on him. It's okay, because Alphys is here. Hey, nobody hurt each other. All of our friends are coming in. Hi. There is 2 of them. Seriously, nobody met. Oh, and here comes Papyrus for some reason. Hey, nobody found anyone. If anyone finds anyone, then I'll be forced to ask Undyne for help. Oh, hello, your majesty. Psst. Hey, human. Did Asgore shave? No. And clone himself? Here's Sans. He's here too for some reason. Yeah, Lisa Simpson. She really does look like Lisa Simpson, doesn't she? And kind of acts like her too. I think I made that reference during the last stream, but it's still quite relevant. But these two recognize each other because they spent a large amount of time trading puns through a door. We may know each other? I recognize your voice too. Oh. The name's Sans. I'm literally the only thing that anybody knows about this game. That's never played it anyway. Oh, wait, then. Yes, it's Papyrus! See, everyone's just making friends. It's so great. Except for Asgore, because he's still crying that his ex-wife hates him. It warms my heart. Kind of. Wowie! I can't believe Asgore's clone knows who I am! And I'm sorry, Monica, if you're coming into this at the end, because this is near the end of the game, so probably a lot of this is not going to make sense. So I apologize in advance. But you can still watch. It's still fun. This is the best day of my life! Hey, Papyrus, what does a skeleton tile is roofed with? Snow-proof roof tiles? They are named after fonts because, as you can kind of tell, it's pixelated, so it's difficult to see. But the font of his speech bubble is that font. That is the Papyrus font that he's speaking with. And Sans is the same because his speech bubble is Comic Sans. I don't know if there's more to it than that. That's just how they decided to name them. No, silly. A skeleton tiles his roof with shingles. That pun doesn't even work if you pronounce it right. I changed my mind! This is the worst day of my life! So the two goat people are, I think they're divorced, or at least separated. So that will explain why he's just standing in the corner crying. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Yeah! Undyne's totally right about that fish thing. Oh, and also Lisa Simpson, whose Alphys is her actual name, and the fish lady, they are apparently dating now. We got them together. That was part of the game. Sometimes you just gotta stop going after furry boss monsters and just get to know really cute fish. Words to live by. Yeah, it's a metaphor. Well, I think it's a good analogy. Oh, and this is a robot who looks like David Bowie, but right now all we see are their legs. You two just smooch already. The audience is dying for some romantic action. The nerve of that guy. Okay, well, it's time for the fish to kiss the Lisa Simpson dinosaur. This is where this game is led, and everyone's just kind of varying states of into it. Alphys? Well... No, he's right. Let's do it! Okay! I guess we're gonna kiss now! Don't hold anything back! My face is suddenly black and white! Not in front of... That's right, because we're playing like a kid who's like 10 or 8 or a kid. So, don't kiss in front of the human. That will corrupt our youth. The fish and the dinosaur kissing. Anyway, here are our friends. They're all in a row. And they're fun people. It seems as if you must stay here for a while, but looking at all the great friends you've made. This is why people love this game, because we really have gotten to know all these people. And I'm sorry, Monica, you've missed most of this, but these are all really fun characters, and I love this game so much. I think you'll be happy here, with your goofballs. That reminds me, Papyrus, you called everyone here, right? Well, besides her, because we still have no idea how Toriel got there. Scandalous, exactly. Anyway, how did you know how to call everybody? Let's just say, a tiny flower helped me. This part's probably not going to make much sense if you haven't been following this game, because a tiny flower is our antagonist. And has now captured everyone. Half of them in black and white because their color is actually a mod that is unfinished. Anyway, this is a flower calling everyone idiots. While you guys are having your little powwow, I took the human souls! So there's 6 human souls of 6 humans that are died, and this flower just needs 1 more soul in order to break the barrier to the human world and, like, destroy life or something. And now, not only are those under my power, but all of your friends' souls are going to be mine too! I don't know why I'm giving you this flower that voice. Oh, thanks, creepy flower. This is Flowey the flower. And because they're all our friends and gathered here, now this evil flower can destroy everyone. So that's the moral of the story. Is if people love you, then a flower will kill people. All that time you spent listening to them, encouraging them, caring about them. Without that, they wouldn't have come here. Now with their souls, I will achieve my real form. Hee-hee. Don't you get it? This is all just a game. Leave the underground satisfied, you'll win the game. This is where we're getting meta. If you win, you won't want to play with me anymore. What would I do then? This game between us will never end. I'll hold victory in front of you, just within your reach. Tear it away just before you grasp it. Hee hee hee. Bring our friends back. I'll destroy the barrier. Everyone will finally be satisfied. But that won't happen. So everyone will go except for us, and we'll be with this flower forever. Doesn't that sound fun? Anyway. Flowey. But fortunately, we have the power of friendship on our side. That's right, human! You can win! Sorry, every time Papyrus has a line. Yeah, Flowey's face gets creepy and goofy. Every time Papyrus has a line, I have to read it because... Ah! That's what Papyrus sounds like! Just do what I would do! Believe in you! Well, that's, it's kind of encouraging. This is Undyne. She tried to kill us earlier, but now she's cool with us. This is Sans, who's just like, this guy's a loser. This Miro's got nothing on you. Ding. Technically, it's impossible for you to beat him. But somehow I know you can do it. Well, that's nice. Alright, let's stay determined. Let's somehow... And look, it's everyone! It's all of the monsters that we quote-unquote fought. They're gathering together, all of our friends. Sorry you're just seeing this finale, because a lot of this is but that's okay. So, there's going to be something that's going to happen here in a minute that's not going to make a lot of sense unless you remember some stuff that they've talked about, which is... So all these monsters are trapped underground. They were trapped by a barrier a long time ago. And the only way to cross the barrier is if you have a human and a monster, like... There's this whole big thing with souls that I'm not going to get into. You can just watch the replay if you want to get all the details. But you need 7 human souls to break the barrier. But you only need 1 human soul to cross the barrier. This flower can absorb human and monster souls. But it takes nearly the souls of nearly every single monster just to equal 1 human soul. But fortunately, nearly every monster just showed up to cheer us on. So that equals the 7th human soul, so we don't have to die. Now Flowey can just become... can show us their true form. And then kill us a million times. That's Flowey's true form. A goat looking away from us. This is confirmation that Flowey the whole time was so tired of being a flower is actually Toriel and Asgore's son, Azrael. Or at least reincarnated or something. Howdy! Everyone says howdy. So just so you know, real quick, Monica, they Asgore and Torio, those two goat monsters, they raised this kid, and one day Chara, this other human, showed up in the underground, and they adopted them. But then there's this whole long backstory where Chara ended up dying, and then Azrael ended up dying, and then they were all grieving. But Azrael kind of got turned into a flower, and then he thinks that we're Chara, but we're not. I can't explain it. It's just whatever. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Go back and watch it. It's such a great game. But this is Azrael. And boy's the narrator, who's Chara, super into it. This is the end. Let's check on Azrael. Infinity attack defense. Legendary being made of every soul in the underground. So now we've got to not die. Not die. Let's hope. Reduce how much damage you'll take this turn. Are you ready? The true final battle is finally beginning. And now we've got more healing items too. I'm just gonna let this battle play out, at least this part of it, because it's so... What? Ready for Shocker Breaker? You know, I don't care about destroying this world anymore. Well, that's nice. Here comes Chaos Saber. I just want to reset everything. So I've had this whole thing about resetting the timeline. They've talked about this a little bit. It's kind of a meta thing. Basically, the character in the underground with the most determination gets the power to reset the timeline, which currently is us. That's why the title screen, we can hit the reset button and start the game over again. It's a meta thing. Let's eat a hot cat. And so I'll bring them all back to zero so we can play the game again. Azrael just wants to keep playing Undertale over and over again because it's such a fun game. I don't blame him. I like this game too. I'm racked with a perverted sentimentality about this game. And then we do everything all over again. That's all he wants to do. Playing his favorite games. My health's starting to get a little low. Let's eat a hot dog this time. Hot dog question mark. You know what the best part about all this is? You'll do it. You'll keep playing Undertale. There's Chaos Saber. What was it? Dream was the... Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Then you lose to me again. Oh, hey! How do you know? It was, Hope was the one that, yeah, damage reduced. Azrael doesn't have a lot of faith in my game playing skills. Oh my gosh, maybe that one was Shocker Breaker 2, the sequel. Here's the thing though, so Azrael and Chara grew up playing together. Chara is the narrator. At least that's the theory I'm going with. Which is probably why like the like colors all rainbowy when it's its name. And again! Uh-oh. Here comes Shocker Breaker 2. Oh, and I want to show you now what my check Used to say legendary being made of every soul in the underground. Now it says the absolute god of hyper death. They're just playing a game. Chara and Azrael, they used to play absolute god of hyper death growing up, I guess. And that's why he's like, yeah, I'm going to attack you with Shocker Breaker 2. And I'm going to attack you with Chaos Saber, like they're Pokemon or something. You know, it's just kids playing. But now it's like the fate of the universe is in the balance. Because I want a happy ending. You're right, I do. That would be nice. This is what happens when a 6-year-old child becomes God. The things that happen. Through determination, the dream came true, and it was a healing gun. Because you love your friends. You want a happy ending for them. That's true. They are nice people. I want to see Lisa Simpson kiss the fish lady. Because we're friends. One more hit and I'm dead. So we're going to eat a Starfey. Because we never give up. Good. Whoops. What did I get hurt with on that one? Oh, I did the wrong one again. I have to do hope to reduce damage. It's delicious that we want happy endings for our friends. Why is that going to be our downfall? I don't get it, Azrael. Here comes the Hyper Goner. Wait a second. Yeah. Sorry, my chat for some reason hadn't scrolled for a while. I'm like, wait, there's more over there. Yep, this is the LSD fight. You pretty much. I love it though. Enough messing around. It's time to purge this timeline once and for all. By timeline, oh, here we go. Okay, Andros. Oh, I got hit once. Wow, you really are something special. Up until now, I've only been using a fraction of my LSD power. Let's see what good your determination is against this. And now he gets fat. Alright, so... now here's the one-winged angel. By the way, I can't move left or right. Like, on my select... I can't go to item or anything. All I can do is act. And all that lets me do is struggle. Behold my true power! And we're dead. But it refused. Both refused to die and like refused, like put back together. It's a pun. This game likes its puns. But we can't really do anything because we can't move. Every time you die, your grip on this world slips away and you get sick of it and go and play Mario Brothers instead. A world where no one remembers you because all your friends got absorbed into my wings? I don't know exactly what happened there. But let's dodge the rainbow sperm and keep struggling. You're hanging out, that's fine. In a few moments, you'll forget everything too, because you'll quit the game. Okay. Except not, because this keeps happening. Although I don't know if it resets the fight. I guess not as much. Come on, show me what good your determination is now! are not easy to dodge. All we can do is struggle. Nothing happened. We struggle. Nothing happened. We try to reach our save file. This is meta again. We tried to restore the game to before this happened, but we can't. Seems saving the game really isn't possible. But maybe, Chara says, with what little power you have, you can save something else. Alright. Let's save. Who we're gonna save? Our friends. That's who we're gonna save. Let's start with Alphys. That's the Lisa Simpson. They're in there somewhere, aren't they? It's the lost soul. It's Alphys. But we can nerd out with her and make her remember herself. What's your favorite cartoon, lost soul? She can barely hold back from giving you an enormous answer. So we've got to kind of... This is where we start getting the mental health issues again. Because all these characters have been representing different mental health issues. She's representing social anxiety, where she just thinks that everybody hates her. And that's kind of been her character arc, and you're here to show her that that's not the case. Let's quiz her. I need your help on a quiz question. It's not enough to just say to people with social anxiety, encourage them, but make them feel useful. She barely holds back from giving you the answer. I've got to keep lying. Don't just tell them they're great. Show them why they're wanted. Also encourage them too. We'll continue to support them. Suddenly she remembers. You've got to remember, there are people that like you, Alphys. So now let's talk to the guy that's got depression issues, and that's Sans. And there's also Papyrus, who he hates puns and he's like 10 years old, but he's still... We can joke with him. He does also a bad pun about skeletons. He seemed to hate it, but the other Lost Souls seem to like it. Just give up. Oops. Wasn't quite ready for that. Okay. Let's do a crossword with him. We think that Jumble is tougher than crosswords. Seem to have dim recollection of this. Why even try? And Papyrus wants to be popular. That's kind of his driving force. No matter what it takes. Cook something for me, Papyrus. It's trying to hide its joy. Oops. I like puzzles. Suddenly the memories are flooding back. No, Sans is rooting for us. And we're Papyrus's friend. His friends are more important than his popularity. What about... Let's go with Undyne next. Because I'm still not 100% sure what her reference is, so maybe this will help me figure it out. Let's smile at her. Giant smiles. For some reason, she sort of wants to smile back. Well, that's right. She wants to kill everybody. I mean, that is a problem. I don't know if it's one that I can really relate to, but, you know. Let's fake hit her. Tap. was her opinion of us before we befriended her. Teach me how to cook, Undyne. Well, some humans are okay, I guess. Let's save these two. It's the lady that lost her child, two of them, or the parents that lost their children, and reacted in very different ways. Toriel decided to protect all children that she ever saw, and Asgore decided to free everyone else under his rule by killing children. And that's why they got divorced. But I like butterscotch instead of cinnamon. She knows what's best for us. She tried to be too protective and smother us with motherlessness. Motherlessness? That's not a word. Motherness. And the guy on the right tried to kill us while asking for our forgiveness as he was trying to kill us. So he's got issues too. He just needs a hug, though. So these, their speech bubbles are references to the issues that we kind of helped them through. And now it's kind of just making it obvious. To the like 10-year-olds who play this game because of the cute art. Let's stare. Toriel lets her children go. And Asgore doesn't kill anymore. So that's all 6, right? But there's someone else. As your friends remembered you, something else began resonating within the soul, stronger and stronger. There's still one last person that needs to be saved. Says Chara. But who? And then she realizes, or they realize, I guess, and you realize. You reach out and call their name. Their name. Who can't be Azrael because Azrael's a he, and I keep saying Chara is a she, but Chara is actually referred to as a they. So, this is the last person we're saving. It's not Azrael. It's her, or them, I guess. Everyone called her a demon online. Represents death and destruction. We've saved. And then we can save Azrael. Azrael wasn't the someone else. But since we redeemed Chara in that moment, that's when everything changes. And he doesn't want anyone. He just wants to play his games. His friends are just there to be his playthings. Not attacking as hard. Why do you want to keep Chara around? What about her is worth keeping around? What about them is worth keeping around? You understand them? You're the only one who's any fun to play with anymore. That's not just it. Perverse sentimentality. But also because there actually is... And that's the thing, this flower didn't care about anybody until they had these souls that were saved. And we had to save Chara in order to even give Azrael his soul back. Notice the narrator isn't saying anything anymore. Not ready for this to end. It's the end of the game. These people that we've built up these great wacky friendships with and had so many goofy adventures. But if we continue, that'll be the end of it. Can we say goodbye to that? Those fires he's throwing at us are avoiding us if we move around. So if he wins, he can reset. Treat your friends as your playthings. I don't really have a lot to add here. I'm just going to let this play out too. Nope. And this is where the reveal happens if you didn't realize, if you're playing through this the first time, that the character you name at the beginning, Chara, is not this child on the screen right now. And their name is always the same. It's Frisk. Which is a nice name. As a flower, I was soulless. I lacked the power to love other people. And that's also what depression can feel like. It's not just you're sad all the time. It's that you don't even feel like you know what it is to love other people. And you just want to treat people as playthings and have your way with them and kill them, bring them back to life, and hold on to them and never let them go, but for purely selfish reasons. monsters are weird. They barely know you. It feels like they all really love you. Do you see why this game is important? Not just popular, but when people are like, you know, video games promote violence or whatever, they're a waste of time. Or they're just, you know, they're just fun little pastime. Play Candy Crush on your way to work. They can't teach you anything. And then something like this comes along where it's there was I used to do the Player and the Doodler was a Let's Play channel I used to run with Jonathan. And we played through a modern version of a King's Quest game, and the details aren't important, but at the end of it, there's a character that dies, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's so sad that you're dying. Oh, I love you, Grandpa." And the Grandpa's like, "Oh, I love you too, my granddaughter and grandson." And it's kind of schmaltzy, and I didn't really like it. Yeah, it's really emotional. I didn't really like the end of that King's Quest game because it didn't feel like that game earned it. This game earns its emotional punch so hard because these characters are so likable and they like you no matter what you are. And then you end up saving them because you like them too, and you remember your past times together when you were having fun, when you had better times. When they're lost. And because you are playing this game, it's not a book or a movie or a TV show or a story you've been told. It's something you participated in. And so it feels like it's that much more personal. I mean, I don't, you know, watching a Let's Play might be different, but actually playing through it, especially the first time, when you're making these choices and you're making these decisions, that gives it so much more of a personal punch to it, and that's the power of interactive media. That's the power of quote unquote video games, when they've literally put you in the role of the character, and sometimes that's, you know, a World War II soldier, or sometimes that's you know, a person trying to crush candy or an angry bird, whatever, or a plumber trying to save the princess. But then when these quote unquote monsters are just saying, "I'm rooting for you, kid. We've all gone through some garbage, and sometimes it feels bad and sometimes it's hard, but we're rooting for you, and we can still love each other despite that." And it's so personal because of the struggles we've been through. I'm starting to repeat myself. Can we forgive him? Because he did try to kill everyone, and he tried to kill us. And Flowey was a terrible like murderer, and we ended up defeating him in one of the endings, or two of the endings. And now he feels like we can't forgive him because of the terrible things that he's done in basically murdering everybody else, in order just to spend more time with his childhood friend. And we even have the choice not to forgive him, if we really think what he's done is unforgivable. And there's an argument to be made for that. Because he's done some terrible things. Everybody's dead. There's nobody left but these two. And then he finally could feel bad about it because he finally got a soul back. And so a case can legitimately be made for do not forgive him. He can't even believe it. But first, since he does have the power, and he finally finishes the plan that was put in motion a long time ago by Chara, mind you. I mean, she screwed it up too. But if we can forgive Azrael for doing far worse than Chara ever did, then can we forgive Chara as well? And now they're free. Flower that didn't have a soul. And real quick, if you do the genocide ending where you kill everybody, Flowey actually talks about what it is like to be a soulless person, which is the main real reason to do the genocide route, other than some of the gameplay stuff, is to get that final piece of the puzzle, which is that Flowey woke up after the weird science experiments that Alphys did, and discovered that he couldn't feel anything because he didn't have a soul. He was just a flower, and it scared him, and he called out for his parents, but nobody came because he was just a flower. He didn't have a voice at the time. But then he discovered that he had like the power to save the game and then like reset the world. That's why he was talking about in that boss battle that he wanted to reset the world back to 0 and play the game again. Because he had the most determination, because it had been like injected into him by Alphys in this weird science experiment. And at first he tried being nice to people, and he did it the nice way, which was fun, but then like he got bored, and so he reset the game, and then he was a jerk to some people and nice to others, and they reset the game, and then he killed everybody, and then reset the game, and it was just keeps resetting over and over again, just like you do with video games. But no matter what he did, he couldn't feel anything. And then Frisk comes into the underworld, who has more determination than Flowey, and Flowey can't reset anything anymore, and that's why Flowey got so upset. And so that's the type of character that Azrael here will turn back into, is someone who can't feel anything anymore. Exactly. So it's best if we just forget about him, because he'll be that unpleasant weirdo that makes creepy faces. Go be with the people who love you. You don't need to worry about me anymore. And we have the option to honor his request as well. It's what he wants. It's what he says. And look, our friends are okay after all. Whew, everyone's good. Everyone's fine. Everyone's good. They're still black and white sometimes, but they're fine. They're good. They're good. They're good. They're fine. Tell us next time you decide to take a nap, okay? Pirate's crying like a baby. What? I didn't cry! I don't cry! I just, caught something in my eye. What did you catch? Tears! Virus, you're such a goof. Now. The important part is that Frisk is alright. Why not drink some tea? Make you feel better. Oh, speaking of which, I need a drink. How about we give him space first? He must be very exhausted. Maybe a little bit. No, from what? Us? Don't even know. So they're not even sure what happened. There was a flower, and then things got out of control, and hey, now the barrier's gone. They can leave. Everybody wins. Hooray! Everybody's free. Everybody. But before then, perhaps you might want to take a walk. So this is kind of the epilogue of the game. I'm not going to go through the entire thing because there's tons of people to talk to and kind of get their stories. You can go back through literally the entire game world and talk to every single character you've met, and they have new things to say. Some of them have a lot of new things to say. So I would leave that for you to go buy this game and figure that out yourself. But there are a few that we're going to go back and talk to, though, because it's important to kind of put a bow on everything I've been talking about. These guys have tons of fun things to say, like, Alpha's upgraded my phone. I'm having a lot of fun with texting. Check out this one. Oh man, Tori, that's brutal. I can't believe the queen has returned, and also that she's a huge dork.
You two are 2 feet away from each other. Why are you texting?
Texting from 2 feet away? For shame! Worry not, we are texting for a good reason.
Why is that?
Well, because we're huge dorks! Obviously! Sans, please do not say that. You are not a dork. You are more of a bonehead!
Wow! Those puns are even less funny coming from her.
Then why are you smiling?
It's a pity smile.
He's always smiling. He's a skeleton. I love these guys. Don't feel left out. I've been writing messages to you as well. You still have my phone number after all this time. We do. Anyway, these guys all have great things. Let's call Toriel, even though we're 2 feet away from her. Notice you received a text. Dear Frisk. Because that's how you start texts, right? Sans and Alphys are teaching me how to text. I am learning so much. For example, do you know what a smiley is? Please look at this. Thank you. The best random reference. For shame was the Homestar one. Now turn your head to the left. It is a picture of me smiling at you. LOL. That stands for lots of laughter. Does it? I always thought it was laugh out loud, but whatever. Sincerely, Toriel. That's how you gotta sign your texts. That's all for now. Maybe in the next room you'll receive another. So, I'll talk to each of these guys once, just because they're great and I love them. Hey Frisk, what's with the weird expression? Did I tell you about the time Frisk flirted with me? Oh yeah, this is a callback. You don't have to flirt with her in the beginning of the game, but if you do, then this happens. And then asks to call me mother. It was creepy. Oh boy.
Wow, Frisk. This really puts our relationship in a new light.
Oh. Do you have any other embarrassing stories?
Oh, do I ever?
But I think that story is one of the most unbelievable. It's hard to think about anyone would want to flirt with me. Oh, come on, Tori. You're the cutest mom ever. Oh, you have no idea. What? I'm not sure what that implies.
So, Asgore, how about making me a member of the Royal Guard?
Well, Iris, now that the war is over, we might not need the Royal Guard anymore.
What? Then what was the point of the humans' quest? They journeyed all that way, and I'm still not a member of the Royal Guard? Truly, this is the worst possible ending.
Oh, Papyrus. So, what do you want to do now that we're all free? We have the whole world to explore now. I'm gonna go out and, I should be honest. I'm gonna stay inside and watch anime like a total loser.
That's the spirits! Ouch! Sheesh. Everyone, that's celebration to being losers!
See, you just own it, man. Own it. That's what Papyrus teaches us. Be a dork, be a loser, just own it, man. Papyrus has the right idea. Losing to Frisk is the best thing that ever happened to me. So I'm glad we... What's, an anime? Oh, great. Frisk, please, help me explain what anime is to Asgore. You see, it's like a cartoon, but with sword apostrophe S, or with gun apostrophe S. It depends on the anime you're watching. I guess swords. So it's like a cartoon, but with swords? Golly, that sounds neato. Whoop! Sorry, it's knocked my mic. Where's this? Where can I see the anime? Period. Hold on, I think I've got some on my phone. Oh, that's the wrong, never, golly, were those two robots making out? Kissing?
Boy, technology sure is something when you can just pull a device out of your pockets and watch robots kiss. Technology.
Always and forever. It sure is. What about you, Elvis? Hey, Frisk, you gotta tell me. Think Asgore and Toriel are ever gonna get back together? I don't think so. I'm actually very happy that those two, despite the fact that everybody's friendly and they're friends again and life is great, those two are still divorced. And I think that's fine, too. Yeah, that's what I thought. A woman can dream that, although Alphys is totally a Toriel Asgore shipper. As you can see. A lot of fanfiction!
Well, Hattie, sorry about almost trying to take your soul.
They should make, there's gotta be a Hallmark card for that.
Oh, sorry about almost trying to steal your soul. I feel very bad about it.
Hallmark's new line. I hope we can still be pals. Hey, don't worry about it, Asgore. I think everybody's tried to kill Frisk at least once. That's true. Maybe not Sans.
Oh, I see. In that case, I'm not sorry. Oh, I just realized, now that we aren't fighting each other, I can finally ask you. Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah, tea's great.
Oh, well, actually the cup I had is cold now. You shouldn't have it.
But I'm so happy you said yes. You know, you can drink cold tea. It's called iced tea. It's alright. I guess, I don't know if you make iced tea just by literally just making a cup of tea and then letting it sit there. Maybe that's, I've never actually made iced tea. Anyway. So, like I said, you can go out through the entire game and talk to every single little teeny character that you encounter. I'm not going to do that, but there is one character in particular I want to talk to before we actually end this game. But before we do that, I do want to just check down here. This, all these graves have now been, not graves, the coffins have been opened except for the one that had Kara's name on it. Because there is mummy wrappings at the bottom of it, which is interesting. Which means that, basically what that means is that someone was buried there and embalmed, I guess, but then was moved. It doesn't mean that Kara is a zombie, arguably. Because Kara is the narrator. We've already been through this. So anyway, that's other than the final epilogue and the credits and stuff. That's Undertale. I've got so many things to say about it, and I don't even know where to start. I've already said a lot of them. There's clearly so much here it speaks definitely to a certain demographic of people that I don't think get a lot of things directed at them, at least not with any sort of understanding, I guess. Because there are a lot of things that are directed to people that have got like mental health issues. But I think Toby Fox himself really understands it, because I'm fairly certain he's got some. If you follow his Twitter, he's definitely feels like he really understands a lot of these. I keep saving it just out of replay. A lot of these issues that these characters are going through. But it's still a hopeful game. It's a helpful game. It's a game that addresses these issues in a manner that speaks. I'm having a hard time saying this. I'll say this. When I was a kid, I didn't like Mr. Rogers. This is a weird way to introduce this. I thought he was super boring. I was more of like more like Sesame Street and stuff because it was more fun. I thought Mr. Rogers was super boring. But now as an adult, I see that he has great messages, telling kids to be cool with themselves and I love you just the way you are, that kind of thing. Which is great. That's wonderful and a perfect message, but the method of delivery isn't one that spoke to me when I was younger. But something like a game like this, I think can reach an audience that people like Mr. Rogers or similar just like straight up optimist kind of stuff does. Oh, hello. Hold on. Maybe someday, someone on the surface will pay attention. There's so many people. Someone has to, right? This is the guy that really wanted you to notice his hat. And the way to beat him in battle is to ignore his hat. And then he just went away sulking. There was a bird on her head. And especially if you've got some of these issues. And so this game kind of disguises itself as this goofy little fun kids game. And it makes you fall in love with it because these characters are just so fun to be around. This guy's got sunglasses. I guess we'll have to go to the surface. There are woods there we can live in, right? Sure. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and maybe a spoonful of goofiness can help the mental health lesson go down. I don't know. The metaphor is not perfect. And it's weird, and I've said this before too, but there are 3 endings to this route, and I started this playthrough like a few days ago once I started this. And Monica, I would suggest going back if you really want to get this whole experience. I've got the streams from the past 2 that I've done on the Facebook page. Anyway, here's a happy family.
The doctor, she brought my wife back from the dead. My son, he seems happy again. A family, it's bigger than ever. Now that my wife is combined with 16 other people.
That's his wife, combined with 16 other people. Mom might have to share her mind with other people now, but she's still my mom. And that's cool, because there's snowflakes. Yeah, thank you.
What? It's a joke! Laugh at it!
Anyway, this was a convenient lamp that we hid behind earlier, because it literally matches us exactly. We can't do it now, because hitboxes. But go back and watch those when you've got some time. And really, I mean, most of it's spoiled now because you saw this. But at the very beginning, I showed the ending of the route where you kill everybody to kind of provide context. Because at that route, the character of Chara actually appears to you. And it looks like Frisk here, except for a lighter skin, is smiling, has kind of rosy cheeks, and is wearing a green shirt with a yellow stripe instead of a blue shirt with a purple stripe, kind of like the inverted color version. And because they appear at the end of that route, people kind of vilify that character, and online they're like, oh, Chara's this demon who kills everyone, but Frisk is the hero. Frisk is the good one and Chara's the evil one. That's like the dichotomy that they always use to represent those 2 characters. And I don't think that's fair to Chara. But it's just so funny that people have taken that message away from a game that is literally about redemption and about people accepting you for who you are, warts and all, And not like made up Hollywood warts like, oh, I'm so clumsy, I hope people like me. But I mean real literal, I murdered everybody, I don't deserve forgiveness. You have the option not to forgive me, but you have the option to forgive me too. Like actual, real, super flaws. Alphys did some terrible things to us to manipulate us into being her friend. But then when she finally just was herself, we decided to be her friend anyway. And we have the option to decide to be her friend or not. That kind of message is far more potent, I think, and important, especially for like a little 10-year-old kid who just wants to play this cutesy game that has fun little looking frogs in it. We never found this fourth room's frogs. Hey, now that your journey's over, maybe you'll have time to listen to me. Since most people just press X to skip through my dialogue. That's right, pressing X. Yeah. That's why these text boxes, like, if you just let it play, it plays very slowly. But if you hit X, you'll get to the end. Anyway. I think that's why it's so important for so many people. And I think that's why it's so important to me. It's still not my favorite game. Like, gameplay-wise, this, like, as a video game, this game isn't very good. Because the battles are mostly you avoid bullets and then hit the spare button 5,000 times until the battle ends. But as an interactive piece of fiction, it's amazing, I think. I mean, and like the graphics also not the greatest, obviously, but they're kind of cutesy and they're kind of fun, so you can forgive it for that, I would say. I mean, it's a throwback to old, like, NES games, so yeah, it's fine. Though the artwork inspired by this game, some of it's absolutely gorgeous. You look up fan art for Undertale, there's some really good pieces out there. Possibly one or two on my wall. It's probably hard to see since this webcam is super teeny. But it's there. That big one was a picture of a snowy path that I painted in a paint night thing that I decided to turn into an Undertale reference. And then that smaller picture is actually a portrait of Chara. That's a little teeny one that's there in the middle that I found online somewhere. I don't remember who the artist is. Maybe I'll look him up. Wingdings. Okay, there actually that's not entirely true. There is a secret character that that sometimes that there's kind of this lore behind the game. There's a secret character named WD Gaster, and WD stands for Wingdings. But that was like the scientist before Alphys. And there's this whole weird lore associated with him that's really hard to find within the game itself unless you look into the game files. That also has a little bit to do with Undertale's quote-unquote sequel, which is a game called Deltarune, which only Chapter 1 is out so far. So there is a Wingdings, WD Gaster, and whenever they show like stuff in the game files that he said, it's in the Wingdings font, so it's like a mystery and it's a code and stuff. So yeah, there is a Wingdings. That's why this game is so great. It even anticipates that. Anyway, if you literally walk the entire length of the game all the way back to the beginning, then Azrael here has a couple more things to say. This is the grave of Chara. Don't worry about me. Someone has to take care of these flowers. And even if you want him to come back, he can't. He doesn't want to reveal himself as their lost son and then turn it back into a flower immediately. So he's just kind of hiding out here until he turns back into a flower. So we get a teeny bit more of exposition from him. Why did we come here? Everyone knows the legend, right? Travelers who climb Mount Ebot, which is Toby backwards, because Toby Fox, the guy who made the game, are said to disappear. So that implies that Frisk came here to disappear. that's all we learn about Frisk. Foolishness? Was it fate? Or was it because you wanted to disappear? I know why Chara climbed the mountain. It wasn't for a very happy reason. I'll be honest with you. Chara hated humanity, and that's another reason why people kind of vilify her, because that line's pretty... It doesn't paint the greatest picture. But at the same time, that could mean... It doesn't necessarily mean she's evil, or they're evil. They might have just been antisocial, or an abuse victim, or something else. Because they never talked about it. But they didn't hate the monsters in the underground. They really are different from Chara. In fact, you have similar fashion choices, stripy these shirts. Maybe the truth is, Chara wasn't really the greatest person. And that's also important because it's saying that Chara had flaws. Like Chara was kind of a jerk, maybe sometimes. And I don't claim that Chara was a saint. I mean, Chara did kill themselves to try to free their friends, but they weren't very good at being friends. Is that a reason to vilify them because they're not really good at maintaining friendships? Is that a reason to demonize them because there is somebody who's friendlier out there? So maybe I was kind of projecting a little bit. I did some weird stuff as a flower. That should also be a Hallmark card. Let's be honest, I did some weird stuff as a flower. And he opened it up. Forgive me, please. There's one last thing I feel I should... When Chara and I combined our souls together, control over her body was actually split between us. Chara was the one that picked up their own empty body. They were the one that wanted to use their full power. And this is the last piece of evidence. People are like, Chara was evil. She wanted to kill all these people. But Chara knew it was the only way to free them. But Azrael couldn't do it because they were too nice. Too nice to do what needed to be done to free them. Keep in mind, this happy ending happened. 6 people did have to die. Technically 7. Possibly 8, I guess, depending on how you count it. Like, this happy ending didn't come about because everyone was nice and friendly. If that would have happened, these monsters would be stuck down here forever. 6 people did die. Let's not forget that. So what's the moral then? As long as we're nice, somebody else will do what needs to be done in order to provide the best possible outcome? I don't have the answer to that question. It's just a question that I think needs to be asked. And a question that I think helps me understand some of the characters a little more. And helps me not vilify Chara again. Because they understood what needed to happen. And that's why he ended up a flower. This whole time, Azrael blamed himself for not being strong enough to fight. And that's why he thought kill or be killed. Because that's something that he thought he learned from Chara. But he doesn't regret killing those people anymore. Chara's plan wasn't great. She didn't think it out very well. So it's better to kill people in a way that nobody finds out about it? Is that the lesson? Like I said, I still don't have an answer for that. So maybe it wasn't a perfect decision, because it took forever. It's a hard choice. As a flower. So if we ever see Flowey again, don't think of it as Azrael. There are a lot of Floweys out there. Important life lessons. Not everything can be resolved by just being nice. That is the lesson that Chara teaches. Doesn't mean you have to kill. That's really the last piece of info we get. The last piece of the puzzle. That was the whole reason that I wanted to play through this the first time. The game presents evidence on both sides of the coin about what type of person that was. The game has people in this make equally heinous choices and then forgives them for it. It doesn't pass judgment on Chara one way or the other. That's up to you. So what lesson do you learn from this game? Do you forgive them? I did. In case you couldn't tell. Anyway, we gotta walk literally all the way to the end of the game now so we can get to the credits. But that's more or less Undertale. This game kind of came out of nowhere for me. Was it 2-ish years ago? I gotta do this puzzle again. I played it the first time, it was early 2017, so actually about 3 years ago is the first time I played through it, even though it came out in 2015. And I actually streamed it, and at the time I thought it was good. I thought it was great, actually, but I at the time I was like, yeah, it's a fun game. 8 out of 10. It's a fun, cute little game about these fun little characters and overcoming adversity, and then this kid didn't want to leave stuff behind, but he knew he had to. And that was nice. And I got emotional at the end during that last cutscene after the final boss fight. But it was 8 out of 10. It was nice. Then there were some events in my life that happened. I've written about them on my blog, and I don't really want to get into personal details on a video that's going to be posted on Twitch. But I was in charge of a trip that somebody almost died on. And it wasn't my fault that they almost died in the sense that I was like pushed, you know, they fell off a cliff and they almost died. And for the longest time, I blamed myself because I was in charge of that expedition, and I didn't really prepare them very well. They weren't really good at camping. They didn't have, like, scout training or anything. They were just a couple of kids who liked playing video games, and this was, like, their first camping trip since they were, like, 6, and they were 13 and 14 at the time. And it was just me and Jonathan actually was there, too. And I even though I wasn't the one who fell, and it really was just an accident, for the longest time I blamed myself because I didn't I could have done so much more to prepare them for that trip. I could have done so much more to warn them about the dangers of climbing around on it was the cliffs of Goblin Valley is where it was. And it was funny because I had only played this game a couple months before, and it was kind of the unofficial theme of our camping trip. Because they just liked the game and they were obsessed with it, and we talked about it a lot on the car ride down, and had like some music on a CD that we had. And so it was on my mind as well, and shortly afterwards, I finished up the genocide route, which is where everyone tells you what a terrible person you are. Just because I was working on it before we did the trip, and I was already beating myself up so much, and then this game that's supposed to be this cutesy fun little game where everybody's your friend was telling me that I was a terrible person, and it was just so frustrating, and I murdered Sans, like I showed in the prologue. And then Chara pops up and it's like, you know, it's okay. I'm totally gonna fall off the edge if I go that way. It's okay, I get it. You're just playing a video game. We're partners. We can have fun together, right? I couldn't play the game for about a year after that. But I did eventually come back to this. And so Chara for me is a symbol of how I had to learn that, like so many characters in this game, that made terrible decisions, but it wasn't really their fault. They were accidents that had happened. I didn't actually mean to go in there. I had to be able to forgive myself. And so I had to be able to forgive Chara as well. Because that was really the lesson of this game. Is learning what can be forgiven and what can't. And so now I have this to remember that. Anyway, I like this game. What do you guys think? You should pick it up. It's like 10 bucks on Steam. And you can probably get it for cheap too. You can probably like wait for it to get on sale and get it for like 5 bucks. We're almost back to the end. We've just got a couple more elevator rides, and then we can get to the epilogue. I mean, this is kind of the epilogue, but I guess the closing cutscene? I don't know how you'd term it. The last bit. We'll just call it that. And it's funny how much of the, like the first two sections of the game is so much walking, but then this last section you just go in like 5 elevators and you're like whisked to the end. You'd think they'd figure out how to do that in the first part of the game, but whatever. The long walks meant that there was time to say some things. We're almost at the end anyway. Oop. But in a more general sense, Undertale I think is a good game for like kids to play that don't really understand a lot of these issues, but just think it's a fun, goofy game with these fun, goofy characters. And then if they start having these issues later in life, they already have a story with people who've gone through similar things and have overcome them, and how that happened and why it happened. And it can give them a vocabulary to deal with it. Say like, Like, I feel sad today. Are you sad because you're like Alphys and just don't want to talk to anyone and are afraid of people? Yeah, I'm like a little bit like that. It's an important tool, I would think. I mean, I'm not a parent. Who knows? I'm just blowing smoke there, but it might be helpful. Anyway, let's actually leave. Your friends will follow you out of the underground. Let's do it. It's even better than on TV.
Hey, Sans! What's that giant ball?
I cannot read papyrus, sorry. We call that the sun, my friend. Keep in mind, if you ever play Deltarune, Sans seems to know stuff about the surface that nobody else knows. That's important if you place the sequels to this game.
That's the sun? Wowie! I can't believe I'm finally meeting the sun.
Meeting the sun. Doo-doo-doo. I can stand here and watch this for hours. Oh, right. Everyone, this is the beginning of a bright new future. I don't know why I'm giving him kind of this accent, but it just kind of fits. An old prospector, an era of peace between humans and monsters. I have something to ask of you. So, the ambassador of the human is like 10 years old? I don't know if that's wise. I don't want to be the ambassador. We're like 10 years old.
It's okay, Frisk. I've got you covered. If you don't want to be the ambassador, I can do it for you. I'll go make a good first impression.
And he runs off. Well, someone's got to keep him from getting into trouble. See you, Sans. He went the other... Whatever. Man, do I have to do everything? Papyrus, wait! Oh, everyone's leaving. Whoops. Whoops. Get out of here, you big lug. Toriel still gives him the side eye. I gotta go. Restraining orders aren't going to carry themselves out. Everyone's quite eager to set off. You came from this world, right? So you must have a place to return to, do you not? So, here's the thing. These are equally good. We can either stay with her and she adopts us, or we can have places to go. We'll be friends with everyone. I think this is the conclusion of Toriel's arc. And if you have an opinion on which one I should pick, go ahead and say it. But this is kind of the conclusion to her arc, because at the beginning of the game, when we fall into the underground first, she wants to keep us safe and wants to keep us protected, but does so without asking us. Does so without our permission, and then when we try to leave, she's blocking us and ends up fighting us. You know, she's kind of Rapunzeling us at the beginning. But eventually she learns to let us go because we're too determined to back down. But we also don't end up, like, killing her. At least in this route. And so it's important that at the end she still wants to mother us, but she asks this time. And I know that's really not how motherhood works, but in terms of wanting to be with people and protect people, there might be a lesson in there. I don't know. So we can either choose to stay with her, or we can choose to... We can say that we don't. If you do stay with her, then the cutscene plays at the end of the game plays out, and she gives you a piece of pie and closes a door. I'm just saying that because I'm going to pick the second one. And I know it's going to let her down a little bit. She's so excited if she gets to be your mom. But it's important that also she has our consent. Well, I hope I'm not keeping you. See you around. You still got our cell phone number. You can text us smileys. Anyway. Alright. Here's our cast list. Are you ready for all the goofy monsters we fought? Really befriended. Here's Frogget. He's a professional frog. Whimsun is still built. Some of them are yellow, which means you spared them in the right way to make their credits turn yellow. Which is, it doesn't really mean much of anything. It just means the credits are slightly different. But now you get to see all the cool art that was the remastered stuff. Because in the normal game, all these guys are just black and white. And now our epilogue. Papyrus drives a car! I'm in a car, everybody! Driving along the highway! But then Sans rides by with a tricycle, and he's going faster. Why? I don't get in my cars faster than yours! I imagine he would be saying. He's a semi-successful comedian, but Icecap is still thinking about that hat! Gift Trout was a deer that had Christmas stuff on him. Doggo, I threw a stick at him, so he loves sticks. This is a dog marriage. He's part of the game. They're still thinking about that stick! So we threw a stick to deal with all the dogs. It's the quick way to do it. Lesser Dog found a loving owner. Greater Dog is unaware of life's changes. That's... I don't know what that implies. Hey, it's Onion Bubs! Woo! Onion Bubs! Onion Bubs! Woo! Give it up for Onion Bubs! Also, like, Undyne and Alphys are... Oh no! It did 9999 of damage! You have defeated her! Aaron by Temmie reluctantly. Temmie was by Temmie. It's Temmie. Temmie is like a friend of Toby Fox's that did half of this art. Okay. I was trying to read the Shiren thing, but it scrolled too quick. This is Metaton. He's a robot. He's a transgender robot, maybe. Also, he's got some bitchin' legs. Sorry, but he does. And this is the part of the game when the not all the sprites were remastered. Clearly, Thunderplane there is still black and white. And the Royal Guards. I think eventually the remastered mod creators are going to colorize them all. They just haven't gotten around to all of them yet. Some of them are half-colored. Old Final Frogget there. Astigmatism, domineering glasses seller. Night, night. And then there's these guys who are living with their families, thinking about sticks. Because we threw the stick at the dog one. Papyrus said that he wanted the king to carve a topiary in the shape of his face. And then in the epilogue, he does it. And Toriel finally becomes that school teacher. Ta-da. And that's the mountain. Well, that's Undertale, guys.
Did you really think it was over?
I mean, we haven't even done the special thanks yet. And now, are you ready? Let's end all this for good. All right, it's time for the Kickstarter credits. Supposedly there's something unlocks if you hit none of these credits. That probably won't end up happening because they get pretty crazy in a bit. But I'm gonna try. Nope, already lost. Dang it. Oh well. I'll keep trying. See if you can find your favorite people on this list. There's a lot of people kickstarted this game. If I was ready for that previous one, I might have done pretty well. Okay. Anyone you recognize yet? Oh, that's 3, I think. Tim Sweeney there, by the way. I don't know if it's the same Tim Sweeney, but Tim Sweeney is the guy who's in charge of Epic Games, so it's the guys who make Fortnite. So I'm presuming that the guy who made Fortnite also kickstarted this game. That's what I think that means. I'm going to say that is the case. Oh no, Annoyed! Alyssa Lion, Kieran Paduda. I'm hitting like 7 of these now. I was doing so well, and then we got to the twirly girlies. That's my term for those, the twirly girlies. Nicholas Muscles DeGarro, or whatever that was. I didn't quite read the ending. Well, Jeremy, you have such a long name. Why is that the case? Those are the guys I touched. Sorry, Skullyrk, Matt Starsonek, JMark108, Pat Lapierre, W. Korth, and the rest. And the Undertale team thanks you, the player, from the bottom of our hearts. Good night. We didn't stay with Toriel, so the cutscene at the end isn't really a cutscene as much as it is a photograph. But, that's the end. Actually, it's not quite the end. I mean, that's mostly the end. If you can't do anything on this screen. However, there's one final little thing. There's always one more little thing. If you quit the game and then reopen it, and hopefully this will pop up soon, because it has a problem with doing the full screen quickly. Come on. There it is. Okay. If you reopen the game, before anything happens, Flowey pops back up one last time. And this is the final piece of the puzzle. Seems as if everyone is perfectly happy. On their own. Monsters have returned to the surface. Peace and prosperity will rule across the land. Take a deep breath. There's nothing left to worry about. Well. Now keep in mind, Flowey's the only one left in the underground because everybody else left. So who's Flowey talking to? Me? Us? Player? I guess. There is one thing. One last threat. One being with the power to erase everything. Everything everyone's worked so hard for. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? That's right. I'm talking about you. Or me, I guess. Not you. You're just watching. Talking about us. The player. Or, I guess. Because we can reset the game. Reset the happy ending. Toriel, Sans, Asgore, Alphys, Papyrus, Undyne. If we choose to, everyone will be ripped from this timeline and sent back before all this ever happened. It rips your soul in half when you're like, this video game doesn't want to undo the happy ending, so you've got to have some sort of weird perverse sentimentality to want to play this game twice, because then you undo their happy ending and then you do it again if you play the pacifist route again. Nobody will remember anything. You'll be able to do whatever you want, and that was the thing. That was what Flowey was doing, and you only find this out when you get to the end of the genocide run. That's what Flowey did. Is they kept resetting the timeline and doing things over and over again in different ways, trying to feel something, and so they know what they're talking about. That power, he knows. Yeah, he knows that power, and we're trying to fight to stop Flowey from making the underworld its plaything. Or Azrael, I guess, at that point, when they were shooting us with rainbows and being like, I'm going to reset everything and keep playing and I'll kill you a million times just because it's fun. But now, the idea of resetting everything, he doesn't think he could do it all again after everybody's has the happiest ending. There are lots of people who say online that after this, they never played Undertale again. They wanted to leave their save file with everybody happy. Because these people connect with you so much. It's so crazy how much they kind of get under your skin and get into your emotions if you let them. And if you don't, that's fine too. Let Frisk be happy. Let Frisk live their life. And here's the last important bit. If I can't change your mind, if you do end up erasing everything to do some goofy Let's Play, for example, ding, you have to erase Flowey's memories too. You've probably heard this 100 times already, haven't you? That hurts too. Because Flowey knows that we've probably reset this game before and played through it again. Doesn't know for sure, but can guess. Well, that's all. See you later. And now Flowey addresses Chara one last time. I'm not Chara. We've established this. Chara was a very specific character in this universe. And Chara didn't go out with the monsters. Chara doesn't stay here with Flowey because Flowey's like, well, bye, Chara. So what happened to Chara in the end? That just resets the intro. Where does Chara end up? I don't have an answer because I think that depends on the player. Whoever's playing, they get to decide what happens to Chara. At the end of the genocide route, Chara's like, you're a great partner. And in that route, Chara kind of also represents the spirit of gaming, or at least the spirit of power gaming. And so it could be argued that Chara goes with me, or with you, with the player. And this is all, you know, speculation, headcanon stuff. But I like to think about that Chara ends up being our partner, you know. Anyway, this is Skyrim. I'm not going to play it much. I just want to show one thing real quick. But I just spent the last 10 hours of playing Undertale and talking about it so much, ultimately, to explain one thing. Well, a lot of things, but this was what gave me the idea to play through Undertale again. Thanks for watching, guys.